everyone, my name is Molly, and today we are here to talk about Riverdale Season 2, Episode 7. I don't have much to say about Episode 7, but I really liked the way the episode was formatted. There was a cool opening, and then just the rest of the episode was split up in a really cool way, which I really enjoyed. There were some things that you definitely will be shocked by if you haven't seen it yet, and if you have, you know what I'm talking about. It was overall a pretty good episode. That's really all I can say for you non-spoilery people, so go watch the episode, then come back and we can talk about it. But for now, goodbye! Alrighty, so like I said just a few seconds ago, I really enjoyed the format of this episode, the way it was split up in different ways. So it was Jughead and Archie, Josie, and then Betty and Veronica, I believe, and like in the end you saw how all their timelines came together, and I really enjoyed that. I like when stories are cut up that way. And I also really enjoyed the opening, which was like a news article about what is going on in Riverdale, and like they read it to you and it was scrolling through the screen. It was just really cool, and I really enjoyed that. We have a cute Bughead scene in bed. Now that Betty and Jughead are back together, we have more Bughead scenes. Betty and Jughead are laying in bed, Betty's wearing his shirt, and they're having like this cute little forehead touch. It's just a really sweet moment before Jughead gets up and decides to work for Penny. I don't understand how he didn't see that going downhill really super fast. It didn't even come to mind that she might be lying. He also enlists Archie's help in doing all these fun illegal activities, which probably isn't the best idea, but at least Archie and Jughead are hanging out again. So Archie and Jughead are in the car, and Archie starts talking about how he imagined the future going. He imagines him and Jughead moving to New York and living as roommates in this apartment, and then Jughead was like, well, where are Betty and Veronica in this scenario? And he's like, oh, they're roommates in an apartment on like Park Ave or whatever. I don't know, but it was really sweet. I really like that he imagined them all still together, and it just was a really sweet moment between the two of them. A little after that, the car that Archie and Jug are in breaks down. One of them is like, oh my god, we should call Betty to come help us, and the other one is like, no, let's not bring Betty into this. Let's call Kevin. And I was like, so you don't want to bring Betty into it because like she's gonna freak out and she's gonna get involved in like this bad thing. So let's throw Kevin under the bus. While the truck is broken down, we meet this sketchy truck driver, and I really don't understand why he was in the story. He really didn't make any sense to me at all. He shows up and he's like, okay, I can only take one of you. And Jughead's like, me, and then they go. We find out that he like kills deer, and like there was that whole bloody deer scene, and then they go to this cafe place. The truck driver freaks out and then leaves Jug there, and I was just so confused as to what was happening. Like, yes, you just decided to take this stranded teenager with a weird car, and now you're freaking out? Like, what? It made no sense to me why he was involved in the story at all. What we all believe is confirmed. Jug is now Penny's drug mule. And the Russian lady that's there was like, nope, you're not backing out of this. You have no choice now. You're a part of this. And I was like, oh, dear Lord. I don't know how that story's gonna go, but I'm really worried. Going back to when the sketchy truck driver left Jug in the cafe, Archie shows up, and I was really happy that he showed up because we needed Archie. We needed him in that moment. I don't know what Jughead would have done if Archie had not shown up, and I'm glad he didn't like turn around, you know, do the smart thing and leave. He stayed with his friend. So we find out Penny did trick Jughead into becoming her more than one-time drug mule, and she has the video of him delivering the crate, so if he ever steps out of line, she can just release that to the police and be like, look, he is a drug dealer. And that is not a good thing at all. With Jughead and Archie's story wrapped up, we move on to Josie. Now, Josie has been having this stalker that has been leaving things in her locker. The first thing we see is this little teddy bear with a note that says, I'll be watching you. She kind of is like, oh, I have a secret admirer, and like her and Cheryl are just kind of like, oh, whatever, that's cute. And I was like, if anybody left me a note in my locker that said, I'll be watching you, I would flip my shit. Like, that's weird. Nobody does that, and that's just creepy, and I don't understand why they weren't freaking out more. Chuck comes back to the show. Chuck, remember the one Betty tried to drown in a bathtub? Yeah, him. He is like, hey, Josie, let's go out. And then she says no, because obviously, and then he retaliates by telling the Pussycats that Josie is working on this, like, solo act. I just found that really super childish. It was just such a bad call on his part because, like, why? Of course she's gonna say no to you. Like, just because you say you changed doesn't mean anything whatsoever. So I was just kind of like, you know, you're gonna have to try harder than just like, I've changed, I promise. After Josie says no and she's like, I'll never go out with you, she gets freaked out and she ends up accepting a ride home from Chuck. Honestly, I don't know how freaked out I'd have to be to take a ride from someone like Chuck because he's pretty creepy too, and I don't know if I'd want to be in a car alone with him. But Josie decides to take that over the alternative of staying in the school, and they end up going to Pop's on this date, and they start dancing, and then the mother walks in on them, and she freaks out because Josie hasn't been answering any of her calls. It's after dark. She also freaks out that Chuck and Josie were on a date. She doesn't like Chuck, which any person is right not to. Josie was like, oh my god, Mom, and I was like, you have to understand, like, as much as I dislike the mayor, it made sense to me why she did what she did in those scenes, because, like, why wouldn't you be freaking out as a parent of a teenager who's roaming the streets and not answering your calls while a serial killer is also roaming the streets? Like, obviously she's gonna be freaking out. So Josie ends up finding this pig heart in the music room, and I just thought that was the creepiest thing ever. Like, it was so disgusting. And then Cheryl takes Josie and they march to Chuck, and Cheryl's like, you're not messing with my girl. And I just thought that was a really cute scene up until the next scene where we find out certain things. And I'm really sad because I really liked Josie and Cheryl's friendship. Then Josie ends up, like, backing up Cheryl and being like, yep, it was definitely Chuck who left this in my locker. He's my stalker. Get rid of him. I didn't think that this secret admirer was Chuck. I mean, like, he could have been, but I wasn't, like, 100% sure it was him. But I definitely did not see the next scene coming, which is when we find out that Cheryl is the one that has been leaving things for Josie, because we see her drawing, and she's drawing in the same style that Josie's drawing was in. Why is Cheryl doing this? I don't get it. That closes the chapter on Josie's story. Now we move on to Betty and Veronica's. Their story opens with Betty has this theory that Sheriff Keller is the Black Hood, but Veronica just believes that Sheriff Keller is having an affair. So Veronica decides to sleep over at Kevin's because she feels bad because Kevin's upset about his dad, whatever. So it's like a sweet little sleepover, and they were really cute together. It was just really nice. So Betty convinces Veronica to go downstairs and kind of investigate a little bit, and Veronica finds Sheriff Keller working out, and they just have a really weird conversation. Veronica was not being subtle, she was being super weird because she was like, oh, I didn't know you work out so much. Watch out, Archie. And I was like, that's really freaky, Veronica, please stop talking. After lots of sleuthing by B&V, our favorite detective duo, we find out that Sheriff Keller is not the Black Hood. He's having an affair with the mayor, which was, like, shocking. I wasn't expecting that to come out because I was just so focused on the Black Hood that I was like, oh my god. Then we all show up at Pop's, all the timelines merge back together, Jughead had just left, and everybody else is in Pop's. Pop gets a call saying, you have all failed, the reckoning is upon you. So basically everybody failed the test, they are all sinners, they had a chance to prove themselves as good people and they all failed. I don't really know why they couldn't keep it together for a weekend, but you know, Judgment Day is over and the reckoning is upon them. Those were my thoughts on episode 7. Let me know what you guys thought of the episode down below. What did you think? Did you see the reveal of the affair coming? Did it surprise you? Tell me all the good details down below. If you guys are interested or haven't seen my previous episode talks, they will all be linked down below, as well as my episode talks for other shows that I do. Again, linked down below. Make sure to check them out. That's it for this video, guys. I try to upload a video every week. If you like my videos, then subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!